Warning, this video will have spoilers for Xenoblade 3. Xenoblade is starting to become a bigger and more successful franchise from Nintendo. It's pretty much as big as Fire Emblem is today. And since there already are 2 Fire Emblem Warriors entries, maybe we can get a Xenoblade Warriors as well soon. A game like this could have so much potential, and in this video I will go over some of my ideas that would make this game the Xenoblade 3 sequel that so many people want. By the way, if anyone at Monolith Soft is watching this video and wants to use some of these ideas, I definitely would not mind. Go ahead. Anyways, let's begin with the character roster. My version of Xenoblade Warriors might be a sequel to Xenoblade 3, but don't get me wrong, I want characters from all 3 mainline Xenoblade games to appear in this game. Sorry Xenoblade X fans, but your game will not be talked about in this video because as of now it is not connected to the Xenosaga. Anyways, let's see which characters from Xenoblade 1 to 3 will be playable in this game. For starters, there will be Shulk, Rex, Melia and Nia. But they will all have their adult Xenoblade 3 designs. Now get ready for this next idea. I want every character from the first and second Xenoblade game to have updated aged up character designs. I want to see an older Rein, Sharla and Fiora. I want to see Riki and Torna with a beard. Everyone now got the same treatment as Shulk and Rex got in Future Redeemed. Some of you might think that this is unrealistic, but let me remind you that Fire Emblem Warriors Free Hopes did something similar. That game came up with brand new designs for 18 characters. My idea would actually require less effort than whatever they did for Fire Emblem Free Hopes, because you can already recycle 4 character models. So then you only have to come up with 8 new character designs for the remaining party members. And some of them wouldn't even need an older look anyway, since they're already adults or likely wouldn't change as much. But anyways, let's quickly go over some other important details for some of these characters. I already know that some people might disagree with me including characters like Sharla or Riki, but I think they should both definitely make it in. It would just feel wrong not to have them for one, but they would also bring some much needed variety in terms of movesets. Think about it. How many Xenoblade characters fight using a sword or a weapon similar to it? Musou games really like to have fighters that all play differently, so Sharla and Riki would be welcome additions. Speaking of movesets, let's talk about how the characters from Xenoblade 2 would fight. For now, I only added the 5 main drivers from this game, so let's cover them first. Nia, Torna, Morak and Zeke would all have a moveset where they fight alongside their blades. Nia, for example, could ride Dromark for her running animation, like Midna from Hyrule Warriors, while she uses her sword and Dromark's twin rings for her attacks. I have not mentioned Rex yet however, and that's because he fights alone like in Future Redeemed, while Pyra and Mithra are separate characters that also fight on their own. Why did I separate these 3 while I let all the other drivers and blades fight together, you may ask? Well, the simple answer is Pyra and Mithra are popular. If this game really existed, then I'm sure Monolith would prioritize the Aegis girls before any of the other blades. It can take a lot of effort to make a whole moveset after all, so the other blades will likely not be playable on their own. Anyways, up until now we have 7 characters from Xenoblade 1 and 7 characters from Xenoblade 2. Let's move on to Xenoblade 3. This should not be a big surprise, but I'm including the 6 main party members from this game in my roster. I am, however, also including Matthew, Nael, Nicole, Glimmer, Panacea, and Linka as well. Yes, these last 2 characters will finally get a chance to shine. Finally, I'm throwing in some extra playable characters that would not make the most sense, but would definitely make fans happy. Tyrea, Egil, Jin, Malos, A, and Alvis. Tyrea came close to being playable for Future Connected, but she got scrapped for unknown reasons, so let's give her another chance to be playable. Egil on the other hand was never meant to be playable, at least as far as we know, but he's a beloved character, people would definitely want to play as him, and the same can be said for Jin as well. And then there's Malos. He is literally the only important character from Xenoblade 2 that was never playable. Jin is at least playable in Torna, while the other Torna terrorist members became a blade with the DLC. I just want a chance to finally play as Malos. Finally, I really wanted to include both A and Elvis as some kind of echo fighters that share the same moveset. But I also feel like you can't have both of them at the same time because of story reasons. But you know what? I'll tackle that problem alongside some other ones in the next part of this video, talking about the setup of this story. I'm assuming that a hypothetical Xenoblade Warriors will be similar to the Hyrule and Fire Emblem Warriors games. There's something very important to note about those 4 entries. None of them are canon. The stories of these games can also be pretty terrible. The only one of these 4 to have a somewhat decent story is Fire Emblem Three Hopes. And that game works with an alternate timeline where Byleth never became a teacher. The other 3 hack and slash games were clearly more concerned with making a fan service product with everyone's favorite characters in it. And as a result, these games had some ridiculous stories involving time travel. Now yes, if this game needs to bring back all the characters that I listed, then it might end up with some ridiculous nonsensical story as well. Thankfully, Xenoblade 3 already has an excuse to bring beloved characters back: Origin. For the people that need a refresher, Origin is basically a big database that contains all the information on the worlds and people from Xenoblade 1 and 2. We've already seen that it's capable of bringing back areas like Danak Desert, which were destroyed after Torna. So if you want to make a big stretch, you can use it as a justification for why characters like Malos or A and Elvis could still appear. This is what I mean when I said that a Xenoblade Warriors could have so much potential. This game can bring back so many fan favorite characters like the Warriors games usually do, and this time there's already a justification for it in the canon. My ideal version of the story is that this game takes place somewhere after the ending of Xenoblade 3, when the characters ended up in their original worlds again. This way we could see characters like Shulk and Rex finally be parents to Nicole, Glimmer and Mio, or we can see the other characters from 3 live their lives without the constraints of the Flame Clocks. Now, as for the conflict and who the characters are fighting, you can come up with anything honestly. Maybe Origin glitched out and now Zed is back alongside other villains from the series. Or maybe we could have a new villain, because the Warriors games love introducing those. As I said before, the stories of the Warriors games is most of the time just an afterthought. I know some people like Xenoblade entirely because of the story, but realistically there is a big chance that the plot of a Xenoblade Warriors won't be that deep. This is of course only the worst case scenario. Again, Free Hope showed us that those games can still have decent stories, so maybe I'll be proven wrong. Before ending this video, I just want to say, I fully realize how self-indulgent and unrealistic some of my ideas are. Lately, I've just been fantasizing a lot about a Xenoblade Warriors game, and I wanted to get those thoughts out there. As I keep saying in this video, there's a lot of potential for this game, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to happen. All I'm saying is that for the last decade, Nintendo has released a hack and slash spin-off every 2 to 3 years. There is a chance that we can see a Xenoblade Warriors soon, so let's just hope that Nintendo and Tetsuya Takahashi will give it a chance. And if this game will come to exist one day, then I also hope that at least a few things I said in this video will actually be in it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed. This has been Max Monado, signing out.